So we have record vehicle deliveries, as we've already reported this, but you can see that there's a pretty, I think this might be the fastest that any large manufactured object has grown. Certainly one of the fastest, perhaps the fastest. It looks like we have a good chance of maintaining that into the future, really dependent on supplier challenges. So if we can get the chips, we can do it. Hopefully this chip shortage will alleviate soon, but I feel confident of being able to maintain something like this, at least above 50% for quite a while. The Model 3 became the best-selling premium vehicle globally. So of any premium vehicle. I almost got arrested at one point for claiming that we'd do 5,000 a week, literally. You're laughing now. Anyway, this is great. We think the Model Y will be the best-selling vehicle of any kind globally. So we think it will exceed the Model 3. I think we've got a good chance of it being the best-selling vehicle by revenue next year, and then I think quite likely to be the best-selling vehicle in just of any kind numerically in 2023. So basically, we need Austin to get online and Berlin to get online and reach volume production, and then I think that's going to happen. In terms of free cash flow generation, obviously we had some tough years back then. Things were looking a little dicey, to say the least, in 2017 and 2018. Don't want to go back there again. But we got through that, and now things are looking really good. So I think we'll see continued strong cash flow generation, and especially as you multiply unit volume times autonomy and increased efficiency in the factories. Because I think over time you'll see all manufacturers will make electric vehicles, and eventually all manufacturers will make autonomous vehicles. I think Tesla's open to licensing autonomy, because I think autonomy will be such a significant lifesaver and preventer of injuries that it is not a technology we want to keep to ourselves. So I think it will be morally right to license it to other manufacturers if they would like to use it. So. And of course, we made a lot of progress on cost reduction. So despite our average selling price actually going down significantly, because with the introduction of the Model 3 and Model Y, these were much lower priced cars, we've managed to still do decently well on gross margin. So this is, getting the average price down and gross margin up is very difficult, but we've managed to do that. So yeah, it's good. Our goal really is to make the cars as affordable as possible. We are seeing significant cost pressure in our supply chain, so we've had to increase vehicle prices, at least temporarily, but we do hope to actually reduce the prices over time and make them more affordable. Unfortunately, we've just expedited. The sheer amount of money we're spending on flying parts around the world is just not great, but hopefully temporary. So, and we need a lot of batteries. Hence, Battery Day is what this shirt means. Very obtuse. But we are going to need a lot of batteries, and this is going to be a combination of batteries from our suppliers. And in supplier discussions, some of our suppliers have just asked me outright, are we going to just, put them out of business or something? I'm like, not at all. As many cells as you want to make and supply to us, at an affordable price, we will buy. No limit. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, do you want to have, yeah, increase by 100%? Sounds good to me. So the basic plan is we're really going to order a lot of, and we have ordered a lot of batteries from suppliers. Basically telling suppliers literally go as much as you can make, we'll take. And we'll prioritize batteries for vehicles, but then use any excess cells that we have in the Powerwall and Megapack. Because over time, we think the demand for stationary storage is going to be at least as high as the demand for vehicles. So sustainable energy, primarily solar and wind, is intermittent. And so the wind doesn't blow all the time, the sun doesn't shine all the time, obviously. And so you need batteries to buffer that power. So the fundamental pillars of a sustainable energy future are basically solar and wind. Those are the primary stationary batteries and electric transport. And if you have those three, then you have a sustainable energy future as long as the sun is shining. So sometimes people ask me about fusion, and I like it as an idea. And by the way, I think it's totally doable. But there's a giant fusion reactor in the sky that shows up every morning, and zero maintenance. So I'm like, sounds like a good deal, you know? Or just catch a little bit of that sunlight and power Earth. A shockingly small amount of land is needed to power Earth. It's like, you know, a couple hundred miles by a couple hundred miles of solar panels will power the entire United States. So it's like, okay, it's not that hard. And then I believe we calculated you only needed 1 square mile of batteries. So you may think like, wow, a lot of batteries. 1 square mile of batteries. It's not that crazy. So anyway, so we've got a plan to reduce the cost per kilowatt hour of batteries, and our suppliers, you know, have similar plans. So this is really supplemental to our suppliers. We'll make cells, they'll make cells, we'll use them all. The fundamental good of Tesla, I think, is by how many years did we accelerate sustainable energy? This is the fundamental, I think, way to think of the value of Tesla. And so if we are able to accelerate sustainable energy by more years, that is good. Hence the need to grow quickly. We've got 3 new factories. Giga Shanghai has done an incredible job. And Giga Shanghai now exceeds Fremont in production. So actually, I'd like to just give a special hand to our Tesla China team. So it's the best quality, lowest cost, and also low drama. So it's great. But that said, we are continuing to expand our Fremont operations and expect to hopefully increase Fremont output by 50%. So, and that's still where we make all Model S and X's are made in Fremont. But it kind of makes sense, especially for the high volume vehicles, to have production that's at least on the continent where the consumers are. Otherwise, it's also not good for the environment to be shipping cars, you know, several thousand miles. So the basic idea is have the high volume vehicles be where the customers are, approximately at least. And then also great progress with building Giga Texas, which is where we are right now, and Giga Berlin Brandenburg. So just a hand for those teams as well. These factories will have cell production in them as well. So this will be really kind of raw materials in, cars out. So really, really big. Yeah, I mean, these things will be in like units of Pentagon, basically. Let's see, so impact report. There's a lot of, I think, interesting stuff in our impact report. We go into